Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for joining me for this practice. What we're going to do in this yoga flow session is just have a move of the whole body. So if you are working at a desk a lot at the moment, you're having to sit a lot for whatever the reason might be, you are tired of being stuck at home, not moving as much as you're used to, then this is all designed to just get the body moving, find a little bit of space and ease in the joints, get the fascia nice and warmed up, nice and fluid, and hopefully also just bring us a little bit of relaxation as well. So we're going to start seated. So however you want to sit is fine. Cross-legged if you can. If you're going to sit cross-legged, one foot slightly in front of the other. If cross-legged is really uncomfortable, it's going to compromise knee stuff, ankle stuff, hip stuff, please find another way to sit. You can bring your knees out in front and hang onto the shins. And actually you can do the whole seated warm-up in this way if you would prefer. You can also bring the soles of the feet together and have the knees out to the side. Okay, so finding that comfortable seat, have a moment to just wriggle, finding center. I'm going to roll the shoulders a couple of times, squeeze them up to the ears and drop them down the back. And then we're going to close the eyes, chin bowing down in towards heart space. And just as you close the eyes and bow your head, start to feel this sense of turning inwards. So there is a lot of information around at the moment. We are being bombarded with stuff, whether it is the news, whether it is people's opinions, fears, marketing. There is so much stuff. So I invite you in this practice to just switch off. So like we do when we receive emails that we are not interested in and we click the unsubscribe button, we can do that in our mind with things that are not of value to us, of things that are causing us to feel stressed. So can you now, in your mind, just start to hit that unsubscribe button? And each time you do that, feel the body responding by softening. So softening the front and the back of your heart space, allowing the shoulders to melt away from the ears. Finding softness in the muscles of the face. Can you relax your jaw? And then we'll start to breathe a little deeper and start to move the breath down into the low belly. So as you inhale, I want you to breathe down, fill the bowl of the pelvis with your breath. As you exhale, big sigh out the mouth, okay? We'll do that 2 more times. So we're going to inhale, the breath moves down, fills the bowl of the pelvis. Exhale. Last one like that, breathe in and down. Exhale. Give the jaw a little wriggle around. Stretch the mouth, so open the mouth wide. And then allow the mouth to close gently. So see if you can close your mouth, but without tensing up around the jaw again. Now we're going to continue with that breathing in and breathing down. So breathing down into the bowl of the pelvis once again. But now on the exhale, I want you to start to press the sit bones into the mat as you begin to engage through the pelvic floor muscles, drawing the belly as well back towards the spine. We're then going to inhale and let everything relax. That breath moves down, it warms and it widens, almost feeling like you're breathing space into your lower back as well. Then on that exhale, feel that support from the earth, pressing sit bones down, pelvic floor muscles in and up, belly drawing into spine. So keeping that rhythm, so that inhale for space, that exhale for strength. See if you can notice what happens in your spine on those exhalations. So as we hug in and up and we gather that strength into our inner body, we notice the spine begins to lengthen. We get that axial extension through the crown of the head. A few more rounds of breath. Inhale, create space. Exhale, create that strength. So this beautiful balance that we play with in yoga of effort and ease, softness and strength, yin and yang. From here, we're going to draw the palms of the hands together into Namaskar Mudra, bowing forehead into fingertips, taking a moment here to set an intention for your practice. And then we'll open our practice together with a chant of Om. So if you are in an environment where you cannot Om out loud, then please just listen along, absorb the energy of that mantra, universal sound for peace. If you're joining in, we're going to breathe in together and down. As we exhale, create that Om sound from your center, from your seat of truth. So let's inhale together. Breath in. Exhale out the mouth. Opening the eyes. We're going to interlace the fingers. Draw the forearms together and begin to slowly draw a figure of 8 with your wrists. And you can begin to sway the upper body from side to side here as well. So taking that figure of 8 in a few different directions. And then pressing the heels of the hands away from you. Take a deep breath in as you reach up. And as you exhale, begin to sway from side to side. Inhale, grow tall, reach up. Exhale, sway, side to side. Lovely. From there, sitting tall, release the hands. Start to rotate through your wrists. Guiding the hands back down to your mat. And then we're going to place the left fingertips to the mat beside you. As we inhale, we're going to take this right arm across the front of the body. As you exhale, bend through the elbow. So we'll do this a few times. We're going to inhale, circle the arm forward. Exhale to open out. And there may well be a fair bit of crunchiness in the shoulders, which is quite normal. So one more on this side, inhaling across. Exhale as you come up and then changing sides. Fingertips down to the other side. Inhale that left arm across. Exhale to open out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good, few more. All the while we've got that exhale, pulling pelvic floor in and up, belly back to spine, and that inhale for space. And then we're going to come all the way to center. Hands to the knees, gives the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Lovely. So once again, we're going to take those left fingertips over to the side. This time, take an inhale as you reach up through that arm, and then exhale, side stretch. Breathing into the space between your ribs, checking in with the neck, so you may prefer to look down. You may find that you can rotate through the ribs and look up, but really feel what's nicest for your body today. From here, we're going to inhale and rotate the chest forward and reach as if you're trying to pick something up. Take an inhale there. And then exhale, rotate, maybe looking up. And then we're going to rotate forward and reach. Rotate and look up. Rotate and reach. Rotate, look up, good. And then we're going to reach, place the fingertips down, come up onto the other fingertips once again. We're going to inhale and wave length through the spine, and then exhale as we fold towards the floor. We're going to do that 2 more times. So we're going to inhale, wave length, exhale, fold, inhale, exhale, fold. Okay, from here, walk your fingertips to center. So now I'm just going to move back so you can see a little bit better. So fingertips are out in front, and we are going to sway the shoulders from side to side. So again, easing all that area, the front and the back of the heart. Good, and then walk your hands back in. Take your other hand out to the side. Inhale the left arm up, exhale to the side. Again, breathe, space between your ribs. Option to look down or look up. Good, we're going to rotate. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, rotate, look up. Inhale, forward. Exhale, rotate, look up. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Fingertips down. Inhale, wave length through your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. And hold. Connect back with your breath. Walk hands back through center, fingertips, and sway. Walk your hands all the way back in. And again, take some rolls of the shoulders. Nice. From there, we're going to come up onto the hands and the knees. So, at any point, if you need things that aren't available to you, just hit pause. This is the beauty of YouTube yoga. So, we're going to be on the hands and the knees for a little sequence. So, you may want something for underneath your knees, like a blanket, or if you've got an extra yoga mat, you can roll another mat up and place it under your knees. Okay? Alternatively, actually, if you cannot be on your knees at all, please don't just stop the video and think you can't join it in, okay? So there's always alternatives for not being on the knees. You can actually do this sequence seated. So your sequence, you're going to be moving the spine in a cat-cow sequence, but you're going to be doing it seated. And you could do that on a chair as well, okay? So there's always something you can do. We don't have to be limited if we've got anything going on in our knees. Knee stuff is super, super common. Okay, so if you can be up on your hands and your knees roughly underneath the hips, wrists roughly underneath the shoulders, but have a little move around and find what is right for your body today. I'm going to pick up the hands a few times, spread the fingers nice and wide, and then press fingertips, knuckles of the fingers, knuckles of the palms into the mat. Okay, pressing the shins down into the mat and drawing the belly in. So from here, we're going to start just moving the hips from side to side. So finding a little bit of space in the pelvis. Anchoring back into your breath. And then coming back to neutral spine. So we're going to hug in the low belly. So again, we've got that support, pelvic floor in and up, so that we're not just hanging out and collapsing here. So particularly if you have got lumbar lordosis, this big curve in your low back, we don't want to just be letting everything hang towards the floor. Same thing if you're hypermobile. It's also really important that when we're hypermobile that we create more strength than flexibility. So hug in and support your body. Press the shins down, press the hands into the floor. Super switched on. And then as we inhale, nice, gentle, slow arch in the spine as we bend through the elbows and offer the heart forward. As we exhale, press into the hands, bend the elbows, hug the belly into the spine. Chin curls gently towards the chest. Same thing the other way. We're going to inhale, offer the heart, look forward. Exhale, curling in, squeezing the breath out. So we're going to do a few of those at your own pace. I'm de-layering. It is actually warm here for a change. It's nice and sunny. So carrying on, a few more rounds of your cat-cow. Last one, inhaling, offering the heart. Exhaling as we curl in. Lovely, returning back to neutral spine. So from here, we're going to take a nice stretch for the spine. We're going to move into puppy pose. So we're going to walk the hands forward. Okay, we're going to slowly bring the chest towards the floor. So again, we do not need to be collapsing to the floor, hyperextending, blowing out the rib cage and balancing on the chin. Let's protect the spine, okay? So again, I want you to pull in and up. Low belly supports you. Offer the rib cage towards the floor, but take it easy. Guide yourself down slowly. Maybe the head rests. Maybe you have a block. Maybe you don't come down so far. Most important thing here is that we're breathing into our spine. So keeping that core integrated to support the joints. One more breath. Lifting up, walking the hands back in. And then from here, we're going to tuck the toes. Again, fire up your hands, fingertips, knuckles of the fingers, knuckles of the palms. We press down, we hug in. And we're going to lift the knees and move into our first downward facing dog. So take your time. So lift the knees slowly. Knees are hovering off the mat as we then send the hips back in space. Push into your hands. Keep the knees bent as you begin to pedal your legs out. So we haven't really done anything on the legs yet. So I wouldn't recommend coming into a straight-legged down dog. So pedaling the legs. Also having a little side to side with the pelvis. And then starting to find some stillness here in down dog. Okay, so alignment cues for down dog. Often we're told to push the heels to the floor and we're told to throw the ribs back towards the thighs. So I'd actually like you to keep your knees soft. Hug in low belly. Actually hug in rib cage and create a wave of length through your spine. You can anchor the heels towards the floor, but it's certainly not important to have the heels towards the floor or onto the floor. And I'd say if you're hypermobile, you'd want to be bending the knees a little bit and engaging your core and making the pose a little bit stronger. Okay, so rib cage hugging in, low belly hugging in, knees are soft. Push the floor with your hands. Make your hands and your arms and your shoulders work. And then a little side to side with the head. And breathe. Take one more breath. And then from that, we're going to bring the knees down. Release the toes. Push back into Balasana. Child's pose. Come up onto the fingertips, and again, let's take a little sway from side to side. And then relax the hands, relax the head down. Lifting the face. We're going to lift back up onto the hands and the knees. Okay, from here, we're going to bring ourselves back into puppy pose. So anchoring down towards the floor without collapsing. So hugging belly, hugging ribs, breathing there. And then lift up the head a little bit. We're going to bring the forearms to the mat, and we're going to lower ourselves down to the mat nice and slowly. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So we're on our forearms. Give your hips a little rock from side to side. Roll your shoulders down the back. Press your forearms into the mat and start to pull in your front spine. So again, low belly in and up. Pelvic floor active. And then we're going to build this pose from the feet up. So I want you to start to press your toenails into the mat. So whenever I say this in classes, people tuck their toes. This is not what I mean. So feet are flat. If you're not sure, look at the video. Press your toenails into the floor. Start to activate the thighs. And you may see my knees lifting here. Squeeze the inner thighs together like you've got something like a yoga block between the legs that you're squeezing. Squeeze the glutes and the front spine. Okay, so we want all of this switched on rather than just relying on our upper body. Okay, and then we're going to look down between hands. We're then going to, keeping your hands to the mat, drag the forearms back. They're not going to go anywhere, but you're just drawing them in towards you. Gently off of the heart, inhale. And as you exhale, push the floor away from you as you curl your chin in. Drag the forearms back, shoulders down the back, heart space open. Inhale. Exhale, curl in, chin to chest, squeeze the breath out. Inhale, off of the heart. Exhale. Last one. And then back to neutral. Lovely. Keeping your feet, your legs, your glutes, your front spine active. Lower down and then draw the hands backwards. Okay. So again, we could come up into Cobra by just pushing into the floor and lifting up. But what we tend to do is, or where we tend to feel that is in the lower back, compression in the lumbar vertebra. So we're going to come up using the core. Core includes the glutes, the inner thighs, all the way down to the feet. So toenails digging in, thighs switched on, glutes engaged, front spine switched on. Take an inhale to prepare. We're going to come up on the exhale. So as you exhale, squeeze front spine in. As you come up. Then as you inhale, open the chest. Exhale, wave it back down. Forehead can rest on the floor. Give your hips a little rock. Building it back up again. So from the feet, toenails to the mat. Thighs engaged, glutes engaged, front spine switched on. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Curling in. This time maybe you can come up a little bit higher. Inhale, off of the heart. Exhale, press the fingertips. Lift through the belly. Hips back. Tuck toes. We're going to move back up into a downward facing dog. I'm going to pedal those legs. Reconnect with your breath. Find a little bit of stillness in your down dog. Looking forward, and then from here, we're going to release the right foot off the mat. We're going to look forward, hug the knee in, and step the foot through as best as you can. It's not always an easy thing to get that foot through, so take your time. And then we're going to bring that left knee down. So again, you can pad that knee out. Actually, the foam yoga blocks can be really good for that. So from here, hands are framing the right foot. Right foot is roughly underneath the right knee. I want you to start to press down into the bones of that foot. So seeing the inner arch begin to engage. So press the foot into the mat, back the hips off in space. We're going to come up using that deep core line. So engage through the front spine. Draw yourself in, like we just did in Cobra. You can even bring your hands to your belly. That foot might do better if you move it off to the side slightly. Activate your left glute. So again, the common thing in a low lunge is to just collapse into it, and we feel that that's a really beneficial thing. Get a really strong stretch in the front of the left hip flexor. But actually, if you back it off, bring your pelvis into neutral, your pelvis is going to be happier for a start. But also, if you just activate that left glute, it's going to help to release the front of the hip anyway. And if you've got chronic tightness in your hip flexors, stretching them really strongly over and over again at the end of the muscle is actually not that beneficial anyway. So back off to go deeper. Hug in. Hands can then come to the thigh. Push into the thigh. Get that axial extension as you wave length through the crown of the head. Good, one more breath. We're then going to bring the left hand, I'm going to wriggle myself back here, the left hand down to the mat inside the right foot. Back the hips off again to create space. We're going to wrap the ribs and then reach up with your left hand. If that's too much on your shoulders, that hand can come to the low back. You can come off the back knee. Try and keep your pelvis neutral and twist from your ribs rather than twisting from your pelvis. Strong through your left hand, push the floor away with your left hand. And then we're going to rotate back around. Bring the hands inside the right foot. Bump the back leg in a little bit. And we're going to spin round. And we're going to take some movement here from side to side. So bending into the knees, taking the arms from side to side, or you can rest them on your thighs as you just find a little bit of ease in the hips and the inner thighs. You could also bring the shoulders into that movement, pressing down through the bones of your feet. And then we're going to rotate the other way. So now you're at the back of your mat. So take your time. Hands are framing the left foot. We're going to back the hips off. Press down into the bones of the left foot. Front spine engaged. As we roll ourselves up again, hands can come to the belly. Pushing down through the left foot. Hugging in through your center. Hands to the thighs, press. Axial extension. And then right hand down. Again, we're going to back the hips off, twist from the ribs, left arm up, or left hand to low back. Option to come off the back knee. Press into those right fingertips. Good. Rotate back around. Hands inside the left foot. Spinning round once again. Finding those movements from side to side. Hands can come to the thigh. And then, I'm just going to move back, we're going to find that temple pose. So turn the toes out, bend into the knees, engage through the front spine, and just sink down. So it can be a little bit intense. Good. From there, soften the knees. We're going to rotate So you'll be back facing the front of your mat. Place your palms into the mat, bend the back knee as you glide your other leg back into your down dog. Pedal the legs, take the hips from side to side, breathe. And then knees down, hips back, child's pose. Steadying your breath, you may even like to sigh the breath out the mouth. Really good. Walking your hands in towards you. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to start to come into a sequence of seated poses. I'm going to be looking at the spine. So, if you can get something, I'm going to use this yoga bolster. Something to go underneath your knees. Now, I invite you to find something, because what I know what's going to happen is people who are really used to doing Paschimottanasana, legs out long and we reach towards the feet, are not going to want to use any props, but I would really like you to, okay? So I want you to bring something under your knees. Could be a rolled up mat, it could be a bed pillow, a rolled up blanket. Okay, so we're going to bring whatever it is you're going to use underneath the knees. And then just to start off with, I just want you to bring your feet backwards and then flex them forwards. So just do that a few times. And then start to roll your ankles. So drawing circles with your feet a few times each way. And then let your heels come to the floor, and let's actually relax the toes. So we very often in this pose will draw the toes back quite strongly. So I'm just going to ask you to just relax them for a moment. Hands can come to the shins or the thighs. Have a little rock on your sit bones, finding center. And we're going to inhale once again. We're going to wave length through the spine. As you exhale, start to fold forward. Inhale, wave length. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale. Exhale. And it may be that your hands rest on your feet. It might be that they rest on your props, palms up. So what I'd like you to think about in this pose is keeping your spine long. So what tends to happen here is people will round a lot in the upper back and they'll overstretch through the arms. Backs of the shoulders are already fairly tight and overstretched anyway. So bring the shoulders back, even if you need to come up for a moment, and give the shoulders a roll. Keep your spine long to keep your core engaged, and then just let your hands rest softly. We're going to close the eyes, and again with the head, I want you to keep your head neutral. We're not going to let the head drop down because it can be a little bit stressful for the nerves here, but we're also not going to crane forward and hyperextend through the front of the neck. So somewhere in between is a really nice neutral space for the head. Closing the eyes so you can focus on your breath. Every inhale, can you wave length through the crown of the head, and every exhale, can you find a little bit of extension without force. And again, if you're hypermobile, I would really like you to back off and help your soft tissues, help your joints, rather than overstretching. And that's the same for everybody. Like, we don't need to be chasing strong sensations in every pose, and we don't need to be causing the body so much discomfort when we come to do these seated forward folds. So a couple more breaths here. Breathing into the back of your heart. Really good. lengthening yourself back up. We're going to slide the bolster so it goes over to the one side. We're going to keep it underneath the right knee, taking the left leg out to the side. So you may need a cushion or a yoga block underneath that left knee or thigh just to help support the hip. So see what you need there. Same thing, so we're going to bring the hands either side of that right leg. We're going to inhale and wave length through the spine, and then we're going to exhale as we start to fold over that leg. Inhale, wave length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, wave. Exhale, fold. And again, you may find your hands take hold of that foot, but you may find that you prefer to be up here. I'd like you to focus on in this pose is this experience of length here, the left hand side of the lower back, creating space. Drawing yourself up, taking that leg back out, and then we're going to slide bolster or pillow underneath the left leg this time. Right leg comes out to the side, hands frame the left leg. Inhale, wave length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, wave. Exhale, fold. One more inhale. Exhale. Holding here. So again, breathing into that right hand side of your lower back. Arms are not overreaching, we are not overdoing it. Keep those shoulders soft, head is in neutral. Last breath here, inhale, exhale completely, walk your hands in, and then moving the bolster out of the way, take the legs out in front, and we're just going to windscreen wipe it just gently, the knees from side to side. We're going to do one last seated position before we come to lie down, final relaxation. So we're going to draw the soles of the feet together. This time you might want blocks underneath both of your legs for support. My favourite for this one is this is why bolsters sometimes are better than pillows because of the weight of them. So if you've got a bolster, you can prop it up and then rest it under your forehead as you bring your palms out in front of you. But you can also have your bolster here or your pillows. You could have two bed pillows and you can bring your forearms to rest. Okay, again, we're looking for that long spine, soft shoulders, neutral head. And we don't need to overdo it. We're working here with the adductors, inner thigh muscles. Those are in most people chronically tight, and they don't need us to be pushing down with the forearms. Again, especially if you're hypermobile, we don't need to be going so deep. So back it off, breathe. I also like to sway a little bit from side to side. Really, really tight. Sometimes what can be helpful is to not lean forward so much, actually bring the palms of your hands into the adductors and just bring a little bit of heat and massage and just help. So you can do circular movements or up and down frictions, maybe even taking that to the outside of the legs too, getting into the IT band here as well. And you can maybe try and come forward again and see if it's a little bit easier. One more breath. Try and exhale out the mouth and relax your jaw. Walk your hands in, give your shoulders a little roll. And then having this just to the side, because you're going to need it with whatever you're using. Draw your knees in. From there, we're going to cross, if this is okay to do so. If not, just swing the legs out. We're going to cross the ankles, roll over the knees. We're just going to take one last down dog. So pedal the legs. Knees down. One last child's pose, long spine. Take a little move from side to side. And then walk the hands in. Take your bolster, your pillow, bring it across your mat. And then we're going to, again, bring it underneath the knees. Just, you may want to pause the video and grab yourself a blanket, or if you've got an eye pillow or anything like that, and make sure that you're not going to be disturbed. And we're going to roll ourselves down, arms out to the side, palms facing up. Give your shoulders a little rock from side to side. Find neutral for your head. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, breath out. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, one more, breathing in and out. So you're going to stay where you are. I'm just going to sit back up because it's easier for me to guide this. So we're going to close the eyes, and I just want you to let your body get really heavy. So see if you can feel 2 things happening at the same time. Your body is getting heavier, and it feels as if the floor is coming up to support you. Letting go of any sense of control, any sense of effort. This is your time for yourself. This time here in Shavasana is a time where you don't have to be responsible for anybody else. You can even let control of your breath go. Just let your breath breathe you. Completely surrender. So what I would recommend with your home practice, if you've got time, is to have a good at least 10-minute Shavasana. 15-minute is ideal. We don't have the same luxuries we have in live classes or in-person classes to do that, just because of filming time and uploading and all of these things. But if you want to stay in Shavasana, just hit pause on the video, put some beautiful music on, put a timer on, and yeah, 10 to 15 minutes. If this is all you've got time for today, start to bring movements back to your fingers and your toes. We're going to rest one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly and start to breathe a little deeper. I want you to remember the intention that you made at the start of your practice, and then dedicate all the good energy of your practice to that intention. And anything else you want to add in here as a dedication. And from there, full body stretch. Reach the arms up, lengthen through the legs, point through the toes, rotate through your wrists and your ankles, and then we're going to hug the knees in, rock from side to side, And then you're going to roll over to one side and bring yourself up to whatever seated position you would like here at the end. Okay, we're going to draw the palms of the hands together. We're going to generate heat between the palms of the hands. And then we're going to rest one hand to the solar plexus, one hand to heart space. Close the eyes, breathe. Noticing how you feel here at the end of your practice compared to how you felt at the start. See now if you can take this feeling with you into the rest of your day. So can you stay connected to your breath, to mindfulness, to that fluidity in the body? And drawing the palms of the hands together into Namaskar Mudra, bowing forehead to fingertips. I'm going to close our practice with a chant of Om. So again, if you want to join in, breathe into belly, exhale to Om. Let's breathe in. Bring fingertips to forehead. We ask for that clarity in our thoughts. Fingertips down to the mouth. We ask for that truth and kindness in our speech. And then palms back to your heart space. We ask for that open, understanding, compassionate heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you bow forward, sealing your practice for today. Coming up when you're ready. And we are there. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed that practice. Come back and do it anytime you need. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Namaste.